Welcome to Moment of Reflection, MoRe, Episode 2 with Prophet Joseph Muneri. In this powerful series, Prophet Muneri takes us on a journey of spiritual insight, personal growth, and deeper understanding of life's purpose. Each episode is a moment to pause, reflect, and gain clarity through wisdom and guidance. Whether you're seeking answers, inspiration, or simply a moment of peace, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and let's dive into today's reflection that will surely leave you with a renewed perspective.
Welcome to Moment of Reflection. I am here today to address a very pertinent issue. If there's one burden that God has given me, it is the burden for the youths. And over the years, I have been in the youth ministry, and I can tell you for sure that most of the problems that most youths go through, their parents are not aware of it. So if you're a parent listening to me, I really pray you go through this video to the end and share to every parent out there so that they can get this message. It is very, very important. Parents have a very pertinent role to play in the lives of their children. And we live in a generation where parents think that for them to be called responsible parents is because they are sending children to school or simply because they can provide their basic needs, give them what to eat and a shelter. That is not so. There are many problems that your children go through that you are not aware of. And I am here today to address that, because most children tend to shy away from their parents and trust outsiders. And because of that, those outsiders teach them what the parents would have taught them in a negative way. And it is a very, very disturbing trend in our society. We live in a time where youths are doing whatever they like. And it seems like the social norms and the morals of the society is gradually dying down. And nobody is coming up to talk about these things. It is degrading and it is killing our society day in, day out. Now, you should understand something as a parent. The Bible says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6, and it said, train up a child in the way they should go, so that when they grow up, they should not depart from that training. As a parent, you have a lot of training to do. And believe me when I always say that a lot of parents will answer before God on the judgment day what they did with the lives that God gave them. Now, if you're a pastor and you're a parent, you are not just there to win souls outside. You must win the souls of your children from within. That is how serious the parenthood is. And so you must be able to do that, which is very, very necessary to put your children on the right standards with God. And bet me when I tell you that it is not just moral education that will do this thing. These children also need spiritual help, all right? Need spiritual help. I've interacted with a lot of youths, and I have discovered that 90% of what they go through, their parents are not aware of. You are a parent, you may know the class that your children is in school, you may know what they are doing in school, but I'm telling you there are a lot of things in their life that are hidden, and that if you are not that type of a parent that is approachable, you will not be able to know these things. Imagine a young lady of 18-year-old that have aborted 3 times, and all the father cares about is that she should go to school and make good grades. Meanwhile, there are a lot of things going on in the life of that child that needs to be addressed spiritually, and some parents are not up to the spiritual capacity to address those issues. Now, when you talk to most parents, they will always like to quote Ephesians chapter 6 verse 1 to 4. That says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, for this is the first commandment with a promise. He said that you may live long in the land that your father has given, and all of that. But they forget verse 4 that says, and you, fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord. Most parents do not do this. They are only focused on the fact that the children should obey them. The children should obey them. But do you ask yourself if those children you are raising can approach you if something is going wrong in their life? Because most of the times when you talk to them, you talk with a tone that it puts fear in their heart, and they cannot actually approach you for you to address some certain things that are going on. Every father in a house is a priest. Every mother is a priestess. And until you come to this understanding, you will not be able to groom the children that God has given you in a very good way. Children should not keep away from vices because they are afraid of the consequences that humans have placed. For example, you telling a young lady, if you sleep with a man, you contract HIV. I'm telling you for free that when that young lady discovers that there is something called preservative that can help them not to contract HIV, they will go on and sleep with men. Moral lessons are good, but they are not enough to keep children from these times. The generation is getting rotten, everything is getting bad, everything is upside down. And if we must raise a society that is worthy of emulation, that society must be the one that has the fear of God. Your children should not engage in things because they are afraid of certain consequences, all right? They should not avoid certain things because they are afraid of certain consequences that humans have placed. You telling somebody that if you steal, they will catch you, beat you, and kill you is good. But if that person is afraid to steal simply because the person is afraid of beating, I am telling you, when no one is around, the person will steal. And you have to come to that understanding. We should avoid things in the life of our children. We should help them stay away from vices because they have the fear of the Lord, which the Bible says is the beginning of wisdom. And so in Ephesians chapter 6 verse 1 to 4, parents should also understand that they have a role to play. That as the children are obeying you, you have to also stand out for them. You also have to be approachable. You also have to know what is going on in their deepest life, all right? Believe me, most of you that tend to cause your children to shy away from the things of God, those children are going, into a lot of battles. Those children are going through a lot of battles that you are not aware of. And all you sit there and you care about is the fact that you can feed them, you can get dresses for them, and you can send them to school. Their spiritual life is dying. You will feed the physical body, but the spiritual body is nothing to write off about. You have to understand these things. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14, he said, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. All these lessons, our children must be able to know them. They must be able to come up to the understanding that there are some certain friends they should not get into contact with. And this is not just moral lesson. This should be because you have instilled in them the fear of God. In that same 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 17, he said, come out from amongst them and touch not the unclean things, for they that bear the vessels of the Lord must be pure. Your children should not engage in vices, not because they are afraid of physical consequences, but because they know that they are first of all vessels in the hands of the Lord. It takes a father that knows the Lord to lead the children to the ways of the Lord. It takes a mother that knows the Lord to lead the children to the ways of the Lord. I have a lot of challenge with parents, and those challenges is simply because I run a youth fellowship, and most parents do not want their children to come to those fellowships. Is it true they are fake pastors? Yes. Is it true there are pastors that take advantage of the people that God has given to them? Yes. But can you use that as a measuring tool to say that every pastor out there is fake? No. We believe that for something to be fake, there is the original. If your child comes to you and say, I think I need spiritual help, and there's so and so person that I think can help me spiritually, you can give the moral lessons, but it takes a man that knows the Lord to give your children spiritual lessons for them to stand on the right path. The least you should do as a parent is to go out there, meet these people who are claiming to be pastors, and really get to know if they can help your children or not sitting back and criticizing. Because at times parents do this simply because they do not like Jesus. It's not even about the pastors. They just hate everything that has to do with Christianity. Have you ever asked yourself, imagine there was no church or Christian gathering in your environment, are you sure that the society would have not been the worst place to live in? There are a lot that men of God are doing, there are a lot that churches are doing to make sure that the rate of violence, the rate of theft, the rate of crime is curbed in our society, and that we should not go the way of Babylon. And so if I am here today, it is to remind a father, is to remind a mother that you have much more to give your children than physical wealth. You have much more to give your children than physical care. Reach out to them, know what they are going through. There are many young ladies I have talked to. A lady of 14 years will tell you, I cannot count the number of men I have slept with. But when they're in the house, they are all innocent. And you look at them and say, this one knows nothing. Meanwhile, out there, they are rotten. Now, let me say this before I go. What you fail to teach your children, outsiders will teach them for free. And it will not be in a way that will make them upright in the society. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.